What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Neal Bauer back with me after a 3 month hiatus. That's like 90 days, sir.
It's
You've got some
ridiculous.
explaining to do. So do me a favor, real quick, guys. Take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe button. As always, criticism in the comment section. You can run over to Twitter, follow him. He is Double Plus Good Games. I am obviously shutdown safety. If you don't know that, I don't know where you've been watching videos the past couple weeks. But with that said, Neal's got a lot more video game background than me and I probably would ever have. For those that don't remember, Neal's basically the reason I got to E3 this year, and obviously still in much debt to you for that, sir. But go ahead and explain to people kind of what you've been up to, what you've been doing, and why obviously they're going to hear a lot more from the two of us in the coming months.
Well, absolutely. But before I go into that, I wanted to thank every one of your followers on Twitter and here on YouTube for actually taking time out to either comment or tweet or even follow us on Twitter. It's been fantastic. We're well over where we thought we would be at this point, and I know it falls a lot on your listeners and your viewers. So
And
really,
you and me inadvertently got into a boat race on Twitter to 1,000 subscribers, and I think, unfortunately, you beat me.
I crested, yeah, because I started caring about it, and once I do that, then it's all over. You
I
don't
may have
stand a
cared more than
chance.
you did. It's a bitter defeat on my side.
So I have been absolutely out of the loop, but I have been. My whole goal after E3 was to continue moving along with pushing games from the US into China and Japan, which is something that I've been doing with indie games. And what had happened along that road is that we wound up started taking indie developers and started publishing their games here in the U.S. So where we were trying to get games outside the country, we actually realized we could help indie game developers start pushing games here in the U.S. So we started helping some smaller, lower tier indie game developers roll their titles out. And we've got a couple here on iOS, we've got a couple on Android, we've got several on Steam. So that's where I've kind of been. But it's required me to do a lot of travel here, both locally and internationally. So that's my excuse. I've been out of the country.
Run down the list. Run down the list of the amazing places that have been graced by the presence, whether they know it or not, but they're about to find out, of Neal Bauer.
Well, a couple of the companies were under NDA. I can't really talk about them, but they are they have joint offices here between Japan and the US. So we've got connections in Singapore. We've got connections out of Akihabara and others in Tokyo. Uh, but we are, and then of course we've done some work within Canada, which is one of the things that I wanted to bring to your audience and your table in the days and weeks ahead, is that we're starting to work with developers across just in all of North America. So I wanted to kind of bring those to light.
Right, and Canada, as I like to refer to it, would be a prime location to talk to people about another game that's played up there, the CFL. So I'm not saying there could be a connection at all between that and this, but for those of you who maybe want to see another game come in the market, understand that bringing other eyes to my channel, bringing other eyes to the things that we talk about here in terms of football games, is going to be good, for everyone. As I get a text message right in the middle of the thing, that's very professional.
You are so
And
unprofessional.
I
It's
know it
been
really
90
is.
days. You figured you'd get your act together by this point.
You would, it's I'm shameful. Let me ask you though, very briefly, since you've done so much traveling, worst food story. Share.
Oh my God. It's actually, it was at a Subway restaurant. I don't know if they're a sponsor, but we got food poisoning from it. And there had nothing to do with like squid or, any kind of bizarre cuisine. It had to do with, I think, a teriyaki chicken sub from Subway. So that it's really not that special. It's anybody can have this terrible food experience. You just have to
The
go.
worst. It's funny you say that because now, did you stick to an American restaurant knowing that it was safer?
That was the goal, right? That was
Right,
the.
right. Knowing comfort food, right? There's a sign I know. I have never been as sick traveling as I have when eating at a foreign Burger King. I thought that I was going to be safe there because, Burger Kings are here. I got disastrously sick off just like a regular cheeseburger. I just needed nourishment that bad, and I think it almost killed me. I don't know, whether it was what they cooked it in. I don't know if they saw Americans and wanted to make me sick. I'd hate to think that, but who knows? Whatever it was, just the flat out worst international food experience I could ever imagine. I really don't even eat Burger King here anymore because of that. So good job with that, BK. Proud of you.
And I have followed a similar experience with Subway. So Burger King and Subway making international food unpalatable here in the US. So
Yes, yes. Of course, Subway has their own problems now. They're not too concerned about your international Beijing story.
so I
I
missed all
bet
that.
you, I bet you, if they could go back in time, they'd be like, "Hey, if we could brush this Jared and RG3 situation under the table and really cling to this Neil Bauer got sick story, that would be great."
Yeah, we would pray for a Neil Bauer got sick story right now.
This guy got sick. Run with it. Lead it. Let's go.
Oh, you know what I came back to is Chipotle's making people's giving people E. coli. Like, what happened? I leave the country for 2 months, and this is what happens. Food
Yeah.
becomes unpalatable.
Congratulations. The food markets went to hell.
I'm
Thanks.
so
Welcome
sorry. I
home.
had no idea I was the keystone to that.
Yeah, that's all you. That's okay. Little Caesars is making a comeback from what I understand. So they've got pizzas on sale this week. That's not a free plug, but if they want to provide me with some of their delicious pizzas because I said it, there is my email in the description of this video.
That's how much money we make. If you want to throw me a $5 pizza, I am all for it.
Right now, someone's like, "Oh, so this bastard's selling out for a $6 deep dish pizza. I knew he was a sellout fraud."
So yeah, I apologize for being out of the loop. I promised after E3 that I'd give a lot more of myself, and Lord knows that it has unfortunately gone into helping the development community publish and pitch games, and then get games internationally. It's not my fault. I'm just trying to bring good to the world
Through video games,
through
which,
video games.
is there a better carrier of good than video games and Marshmallow Peeps?
Ooh, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
let that sit in. Let that sit in. So, I guess in terms of what you went in and did, could you kind of fill people in a little bit on the scale of what you're working with? I know you talked a little about indie developers, but when we talk about games that maybe obviously aren't going to be football related, although if you guys don't know, Access is already on your mobile phones and all that, has been for a couple weeks now. Shame on you if you haven't went to download it. Are these going to be games? Are these going to be companies that people that watch my channel that are into video game football and also subsequently into gaming, are these companies that they're going to recognize, understand products that they may have an interest in? Can you give us a little bit of vibe of what's went on there?
So yes and no. Again, I'm under NDA, and I can't talk about the companies directly, but they are companies that are very familiar, that have a long history in games, all the way back to the 80s and actually even before. So they are companies that have been around a long period of time. They are needing to find alternative ways of getting their product and games into consumers' hands. And so we are helping them do that. That is one of the things that I've been challenged with, and I've been helping from August through October. That's one company. The developers, the indie developers, are also a very strong interest because they have a lot of. We just finished up with PAX, and then we're walking into the PlayStation Experience, which happens on December 7th, I believe, down in San Francisco. So there's a lot of we're doing to kind of get games out there and get these games more visibility. So in terms of, I can talk about one of the companies, but we can definitely bring that up in a different podcast. But one of the companies we're working with right now is to get a game greenlit. So my efforts in the next week and a half are to kind of help that company while we can get their press kit put together and other things. And that's what I would love to bring to your audience, is that everybody knows that Fallout 4 came out. Everybody knows that Tomb Raider's out. There are games that, and of course you got Star Wars Battlefront hitting. Everybody knows about those games. But then it's about getting these other smaller tier publishers. You've done a great deal with getting Access Football into the mainstream. It's getting those games kind of visibility, and that's kind of what I'm trying to. I'll work to bring to your show, and to this show in the next couple weeks.
Right. So, I mean, that's some things you guys can hopefully look forward to. And also, if you guys, you have to remember, a lot of Access Football came from one person that came to me and said, "Hey, can you talk to this person? Can you go interact with these people and try to help them move this product along?" I don't care if it's not a football game. If there's something that you guys, as the people that support my channel, are interested in or want to see, or have somebody that you want to be interviewed or talk to, reach out to me. Let me let Neal know on Twitter. Put something down in the comments here. give those people my information. I don't care. I'm more than willing to go out and try to facilitate making gaming a better place in this community, because you guys have brought a lot, not just, to me as a person, in terms of, credibility and respect in the community, and the ability to go to EA and work with 505 and go to E3 and all these doors that you've opened for me. I also want to return things to you. I want gaming to be better, not just football gaming, but if we can make gaming better, eventually we'll make football gaming better. It's a two-way street there. So if you guys have something that you're interested in, that you want to learn about, or you want to, find out, what's going on with this project, let me know, let him know, and we'll do everything we can to make that happen. And hopefully in the meantime, we can bring other avenues of gaming enjoyment to you, through these games you may not even know exist.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's the story of my life. So again, appreciate you guys checking this out. Really thankful that we have Neal back. It's obviously going to be something we do a lot more frequently. And again, always thank you guys for watching this, and we'll be back very shortly with more content.